friendly. So essentially, mostly what we do is hand watering, because we generally don't, with no-till, the soil structure is not disturbed, and so moisture constantly wicks up from lower surfaces, especially that we're in a valley alongside of a river. And so rarely, when it was getting really dry last month, I guess that was, we had just really started to do just watering crops, you know, right at the end of that period. But then it rained, and now we're back in action again. And, you know, rarely do we get into a condition of needing to just irrigate the field, which is really time-saving, and also is really, there's just tremendous benefits to not having to maintain soil moisture content with your agricultural abilities. It's better to let nature handle it, because nature keeps it at the right level for the biological activity. So obviously if it's too dry, it needs water, it's true, but it's much better to have biology that is constantly moist at the right level than biology that gets too dry because you tilled the soil, then you over irrigate it, and then you flood it, and then it's anaerobic, and then it has to recover from being flooded, and then it's, you know, back to too dry again. And that is just the tillage scenario of its effect on air and water in the soil is just, it's just very difficult to properly manage that condition once you've introduced it into a soil. Not that it can't be done, and obviously people have been doing it a long time, but it's just, it's a headache to get rid of if you can. And so that we really appreciate this nature being able to maintain the proper level of hydration, and so that's primarily what we do. However, we'll hand water with hoses. We do have these little sprinklers that can run if we have a particular area that we need to just do a broadcast. That was probably running during the dry period. But in general, we just hand water and stuff. We have large hose lines over there. I'll show you 1-inch lines that you know, they can put out a lot of water quickly, and we just hand water everything in and get it to germinate. Sometimes we'll have to come back if it's been really dry, you know, for, you know, we might hit the lettuce a second time. Often lettuce only takes one time, but carrots, you know, if it's really dry, they take 7-10 days to germinate. Yeah, we'll have to irrigate them, you know, twice, or maybe even 3 times, just to make sure that they're hydrated and keeping germinated. But again, we've never touched a weed. You know, this is what it looks like. You know, occasionally, you know, there's a weed here or there that I'll have to pull out. But essentially, you know, our weed control is like 5% of what it used to be when we used to till. Irrigation effort is way down, and of course the yields are much higher. Weed control is primarily, I think that it's a number of reasons. Certainly the chemical balance of the soil, the biological balance of the soil, but if there was one thing that altered the weed control, it was getting rid of tillage. You know, when we stopped introducing that oxygen and churning that soil up and making those weeds explode, and instead just started layering materials and not disturbing the soil, the combination of those biological and chemical changes in the soil combined with that lack of churning action and the layering just really got rid of weeds. We had gotten into a condition of excessive Galansoga was the main weed in the field. It was just, there was tremendous volumes of Galansoga in these fields. Very, very fast flowering, fast seed, everything moved so fast. Our weed control was very good. You know, we had all the mechanical tools, the hose, the know-how to control weeds mechanically, and we were very good at it, and we ended up with just the absolute fastest moving weed. You know, the only one that could make it against the weed control system was Galansoga, and it was everywhere. And as soon as we switched away from tillage and started burying it, it just disappeared, like immediately. It was amazing. Like as soon as we did not till the soil and put down 1 inch or 2 inches of compost, it was just gone. It was amazing. You know, we had maybe that first year we had to pluck some out, cut them off. And of course then we also noted just tremendous increases in crop health, which, I can't point to any particular rate here. Oh, well, here's a good one. Like you see all those garlics right there that we just pulled out, you know, that field was all full of garlic. There was not a single stem rot. There was not one garlic that we pull out that the bulb stayed behind.